Christmas is coming. Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Little bit over the top, Until I'm excited. It's the 1st of December. Christmas is coming. It's officially build up to Christmas in the Vicky Marie Chats house. In the Vicky, 1st of December always means the start of building up to Christmas. Now, I think I might have gone a little bit mad with I have got my tree up in the background. It's got no baubles on it, but it's just got lights, and I've got a few decorations in the background. I've got my Christmas jumper on, got my Christmas hat on, I've got my Christmas glasses on, which I'm going to take off in a minute when I start talking about serious things. In fact, I'm going to take them off now. But yes, Christmas season is here, and I was going to start. Oh, so let me just say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy Christmas world we're living in. Dee, 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 dee. Anyway, I'm going to download some Christmas songs, some copyright-free Christmas songs, and yeah, we'll have some fun coming up to Christmas, but we'll be talking about serious things as well. But you know what? You have to treat everything with a little bit of humour. If you didn't laugh, you'd cry. There's nothing we can do to change the state of this mad world, or not much we can do, just our little protests here and there. So we have to live in it. We're here. We're here for a reason, even though we haven't got a clue what that reason is. We are here for a reason. Just if only we knew what the reason was. Anyway, so I was going to start like an advent calendar like I did last year. But you know what, this morning, so I had to put all my Christmas things up, plan this stream. I feel like I haven't stopped, and so I still haven't done number 1 of the advent calendar. But then I thought about it, and I thought, do you know what? I loved doing that advent calendar last year, but I did a video every morning. And that leading up to Christmas is 24 videos, one every day. And it's all right when it's a weekend. I could do one now later after this stream, but when I've got classes. So I thought I'm going to be putting too much pressure on myself to do that. So I'm not going to do it like that. I am going to do the survival stories as we go through December. But I'm not going to do it with an advent calendar every day. There will be a video every day, but I don't want to feel under pressure to get to do videos at a certain time for, because they have to be out first thing in the morning, really, so that people can see them when they get up, all those kind of things. Oh, by the way, talking of advent calendars, I haven't opened I feel really Christmassy today. And it's not good really, because there's still a long way to go till Christmas. But this is my advent calendar, my real one, my chocolatey one. I haven't opened number 1 yet. I might open it later when I finish, if I remember, but I'll open it at some point. Again, I haven't even had time to open that this morning, my own advent calendar. So yeah, time is, there's never enough hours in the day, are there? Right, what am I going to do first? So I've got a few things that I want to talk about before I get started with it. So the main purpose of this stream today. So I'm going to talk about these 2 men, famous men, Gregg Wallace. Don't even like looking at his face now. I never liked him before, to be honest. And of course, Sean, who played Martin in Coronation Street. And both these men have been accused of historic sex offences. And and now they've both spoken up about it, and we're going to talk about them, and we're going to talk about, have they done themselves any favours in talking about it? Because I know one of them in particular I feel completely different about now than I did before. So we're going to look at them individually and decide whether we think it's been good for them to speak up, or maybe they should have just kept their mouth shut, and just let their lawyers deal with it and let it blow over or whatever. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about shortly. First of all, I want to tell you a very nice little positive story. Where's it gone? Oh my God. There it is. So yesterday, let me say hello to everyone first. Let's say hello. Hello, white rabbits to everyone. Happy Sunday. Hi, David. Hi, Heather. Hi, Chumba. The silver wig's been thrown away. Dame Edna. Could be worse. I've been called worse things. Hi, Mello. Hi, Heather. Hi, Chumba. Hi, Angel. Yeah, you have to get the YouTube Prime, Mello. It's worth every penny. Christmas jumper. Pinch punch. Yeah, Gregg Wallace. Yeah. Yes, Martin Platt's a cheesemaker as well, apparently. It's interesting, isn't it, Martin Platt? Sean Wilson, I should say. So I want to tell you some really nice little story, first of all. So yesterday on my community post, Riley, go away a minute. On my community post yesterday, where is it? No, not there. Somebody made a comment to me and was very nice about something anyway, and was telling me about their mum who's passed away. So I lit a candle for their mum, candle lit and prayers said for the mum of one of us that is in the next world until they meet again. Now it's not this is not they didn't recently pass from this world. I don't think. It's just something that I was talking about reminded this person of their mum. And, we all have our miss our mum moments. So I lit this little candle next to I have a little Buddha there. I'm thinking of becoming a Buddhist. I'm going to do a stream about Buddhism. It's a fabulous religion, actually. I mean, I don't believe in religions normally, but I'm quite interested in the Buddhist religion. But anyway, so if I suddenly become a Buddhist... I've got the tummy for it, definitely got the tummy for being a Buddhist, so maybe I should become a Buddhist. So one day it'll be, I'm a Buddhist. Sorry, that reminds me of a funny story. Like my sister, she used to get involved in a lot of, she was sort of easily led, let's say. And one of my sisters, I say she still is. And one day when we went round to my mum and dad's, and we asked about my sister. We said, how's whoever? I'd never get my mum sat and she went, she's a Mormon now. She's a Mormon. So she did become a Mormon for a little while. Anyway, it didn't last long. Definitely didn't last long. But so when my mum said she's a Mormon now, she's a Mormon. So that would be, if my mum was still here, God bless her, she'd be saying about me, saying she's a Buddhist now. She's a Buddhist. I'm not a Buddhist yet, but I may become a Buddhist. Anyway, so I lit this little candle for this person, for this person's mum. And when I was, so this morning, what I've been doing a lot of this morning is Christmas cleaning. I'm sure most of you know what it is. You have to clean before you can put the tree up and that, because I've got to be honest, I haven't mopped my floor for quite a long time. I swept it. I have to sweep it about 13 times a day because of the dogs. But I hadn't actually mopped it for over a week for whatever reason, probably didn't have time. So I thought this morning I'm going to do the Christmas clean. I got the vac round, got the mop out, cleaned everything so I could put the tree behind me and everything, and everywhere's so lovely and clean now around my workstation. And the workstation is sort of right next to where I'd put that candle for that chatter's mum. And as I'm going round cleaning, look what I found on the floor. Let me hold it up to the camera. A white feather. Just one white feather just there, right where the candle was. Oh my God. So, I mean, that's happened to me before with white feathers. I've found, not, every now and again I found them, and I found them in really sort of strange places. After a friend of mine died, I found one at the campo while I was walking the dogs, just one white feather just on the floor as I was walking. I was thinking about her. But this I found literally right next to where I'd lit the candle. Lit this candle for my this candle. 4 candles. I'm going to light 4 candles actually this morning. But so, yeah, I don't know if that is a message from my chatters, one of our friends, someone you all know, but I won't name them if they want to come on and name themselves. But yeah, is that a message from her mum? So I'm going to keep that. I like to keep, when I find feathers, I keep them. So very makes me wonder, is that somebody who visited when I lit that candle and said a prayer for them? So that's the first thing I want to talk to you about before I start talking about Gregg Wallace and Sean Wilson. I think I'm going to talk about Sean Wilson first. But another thing that I want to tell you about, this is very serious. Paul Arnott, turkey teeth, remember he did that advert for the turkey teeth. Now, I've talked about this with my members already, but I haven't talked about it off membership. But, he did that turkey teeth video. And look, these are his turkey teeth now, visible from outer space. 2 of my chatters took his advice and went to that dentist that he recommended over in Turkey. And look what happened. And this is the teeth they ended up with. So they're not very happy. So Paul Arnott, if you're watching, be prepared. You're going to get some very angry emails from people who, in good faith, took your advice, went off to Turkey to that dental clinic that you promoted like mad. After you said you were a mountaineer and you tried to find Jay Slater, and then you half-heartedly tried to find some other poor boy in Sardinia, and then you went off somewhere else, and then you tried to get involved in the Jack O'Sullivan case, and then you tried to do quite a lot of things, but you didn't do any of them very well. So then you went off to do this advert for the turkey teeth dentist that you got paid, you got your teeth done for free. And look what's happened. This is just 2 people. I bet there's more. I won't be surprised if, now that I'm saying this publicly, more people send me in their photos of what the disaster that happened to their teeth following your recommendation. So just to let you know, expect some angry emails. Okay, so let me just see if I've missed anybody else coming in. So, hi Dottie Gran. And actually, it was Dottie Gran who got in touch with me this morning. The Dottie Gran who got in touch with me this morning to let me know about the Martin Platt interview. I shouldn't call him Martin Platt, should I? Sean Wilson. So of course he was on some, was it Casualty he was on as well? He's been on a couple of things, but he's most well known for playing Martin Platt, isn't he, on Coronation Street? And of course he was due to come back to Coronation Street, and then he was that storyline was discreetly shelved, and then all these rumours were going round that some star had been named in a historic SEX case, etc. Now, there's nothing worse than rumours. I'm glad that Sean's come out to talk about this, because there's nothing worse than rumours going round for other people, because there's, you know, lots of people out there, people casting aspersions saying it might be them, etc. And you know, it's like, it's good that he's come out to say it was him, because it's not fair on the other people that people are speculating about. Now, we talked about this a little while ago, and I think we more or less agreed, didn't we, that it probably was him, but we didn't know. You know, we didn't know for sure, and there were other people in the frame. So now Sean himself has come out and done an interview with the Sun, which I expect he's been paid for, and I don't blame him, because he'll have lost a massive amount of earnings from appearing again in Coronation Street. Probably is it Gail who's going? I don't even watch Coronation Street now. I used to watch it when Martin was in it years ago. But you know, because that was shelved, he's been kicked off it, and that'll, you know, that's a lot of money that he's lost out on, isn't it? And if he's not guilty, or if it, because I don't believe there's going to be any charges pressed, but it's still ruined his career. And you know, what we're going to watch is the interview that he does, and then, you know, people just have to make their own mind up if they think he's been maligned, or if they think it was justified. You know, the problem with these historical things are, obviously a lot of time's passed, but then, you know, you have to take them seriously as well, because just because a lot of time has passed doesn't mean to say that somebody hasn't been abused at some point in time. So they're very tricky. Anyway, let's have a look at the interview. We'll have a look at the interview, and then we see. And, you know, as I say, everybody will make their own mind up. People have probably got varying views, so don't forget, you've got to be aware of people's varying views. Be respectful of them. Just don't attack the argument, not the person, as they say. So here we go. So this is on the Sun YouTube.
It was said to me that the complainant had been in touch with them, and the complainant had said that they'd been to the police, and the police have referred it to the CPS, and on that basis we're going to sever your contract. It was sometime in 1997. They can't describe when it was in 1997. There were no witnesses, and she hadn't told anyone about it. It's been hard. It's been very hard, because you have nothing to go on.
Now, you know, at the end of the day, it would have been difficult for that girl. If that girl is telling the truth, it doesn't matter that it was a long time ago. Sometimes people do suffer abuse silently. They don't say anything. They don't tell anybody, not even their best friend, etc. But, of course, we do get people who do, unfortunately, claim things that aren't true. You know, this drives me absolutely mad, because when people do that, men or women, that makes it even more difficult for the people that are telling the truth to be believed. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to an allegation of SEX misconduct, normally there are only two people there when this is happening. And so it becomes you know, one person's word against another person's word. So unless other people come forward who say the same thing has happened to them, really there's never any proper evidence, is there? Which doesn't, I'm not saying that means that the person who's alleging it is not telling the truth. They may well be telling the truth. What I'm trying to say is it's difficult to prove, isn't it? That's why a lot of people don't report it, because they, especially if it's a famous person, because they think, well, who's going to believe me? Sometimes these famous people like Jimmy Savile or Rolf Harris, and that's exactly what they'll say to their victims. Well, nobody will believe you. I'll tell you something. Years ago, I mean, you know, women have it's different now. I think people are more cautious about what they do. But years ago, there were loads of men doing these kind of things and getting away with it in the workplace, anywhere, because the sort of climate, if you like, was to not say anything. And I remember years ago when someone I worked with, and she was, let's say, she was quite a scary person. She was hard as nails, like proper Manchester. She was like a manageress at Ladbrokes, like I was. She was a lot harder than I was. And her partner, he was always trying to get off with other people, all her friends, including me. And if you'd be literally sat with him and he'd be sneaking his arm around your back, trying to pinch your backside. And then when she went to the loo, he'd say, oh, anytime you want, like we can do this, we can, and you'd like be trying to be polite because what is that? Because you don't want to cause a scene. And then he would actually say, don't say anything to and then he'd say I won't give the lady's name. Don't. Oh, hang on, that's Amazon arriving. 1 minute. Oh gosh. Come here. Come here. Come here. Go on. Hola. Hola. Ya, es que dejé un mensaje de no llama el timbre. ¿Puedes poner
no mensaje de timbre. No.
Bueno, lo dejé. Vale, gracias.
Discúlpame.
Es all right.
No
Es que estoy haciendo algo para el trabajo.
Sí.
Sí.
Solo paquete, siempre dejar aquí, ¿no?
Siempre.
No,
sí.
no timbre.
No, porque los perros ladran.
Ok, perdona, ¿vale?
Nada.
Okay.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Adiós.
Adiós. God, come on. Hello, are you still there? Let's just make sure. So I've just had to answer the door dressed like this. How embarrassing. Because I left a message, on the Amazon delivery thing. Don't ring the doorbell, please. Just bring the package up and leave it by the door. Anyway, he said he didn't get that message. So I've had to answer the door like this. I had to put the dogs in the bathroom because, as you can hear, they start barking and going mad. Anyway, never mind. Calm. So it's just tennis balls for the dog, actually. Right, where was I? So, bless him. He's going, oh, Padonna, I'm sorry. But he says, oh, there's no message. Definitely did leave a message, but never mind. So going back to what I was talking about. So, yeah, he actually would say, this guy, don't say anything to the woman because she'd probably batter you. I'll just deny it and she'll batter you. Not only to me he would say this, but he would say it to all her friends. So nobody said anything to her because they were all too scared of her. I mean, she was hard, let's say. She was a pretty scary woman. But, obviously I was younger then. When I think about it now, I would have told him where to get off. But, then at that time. But having said that, some of her friends, they were older and they didn't say anything either. So, sometimes people do threaten people they do threaten people, to be quiet and that. So it does happen. Oh dear, I said to the guy that just came to the door there, oh God, there's always something happening here, isn't there? I said to him, it's just that I'm doing something for work. And he went, oh, see? He was like, what are you? I bet thought, I just wanted him to know I didn't normally just wander around the house dressed like this. Anyway, I've probably cheered him up today. So I'll give him a story to tell when he's having his lunch or whatever. Oh, yeah, I went to this mad English woman's house. You know, Spanish people think English people are mad anyway. So, you know, that'll be something for him to talk about and say, yeah, the mad though is English. Oh, dear me. Dear me. Anyway, so right now I've forgotten where I am. Oh, so let's carry on. Oh, yeah. So there's a certain YouTuber who accused someone of stalking them, which makes me really angry because there's no proof that this person ever stalked them. It was never brought to court or anything like that. These are the things that wind me up, because anyone who accuses someone of doing something that didn't really happen, and especially for me, who's someone who has been stalked and know exactly what it's like, it's terrible to accuse someone of that when they haven't actually done it. You know, that's just as bad as doing it, I think. Because then they make it more difficult for all those people who it genuinely does happen to, and they don't get listened to, because some people do lie. And, you know, so how, at the end of the day, when someone reports something like stalking or SA, it's a serious accusation, has to be taken seriously by the police. And one person is telling the truth and one person isn't. I would always come down on the side of the accuser normally, because I think it takes a lot, you know, to accuse someone of that. So I'm always swaying a bit more their way. But some people, and it'll be the people who haven't really been stalked, haven't really been victims of SA, they're the ones that will go and report it. It's weird, isn't it? Because the ones that it's genuinely happened to, they're the ones with the PTSD from it, or the, you know, been affected by it so badly, they can't bring themselves to report it. They don't want to go through it all again in court. They don't want to be in that situation. But unfortunately, some people who are falsely accusing people, that's not an issue for them because it never happened to them anyway. So it's a very sensitive subject, isn't it? Very difficult subject. So let's see what more Martin had to say. Not Martin, Sean, sorry.
So I was in the apartment and I was piling. I was learning piles of script and then showering.
He was self-soothing then, wasn't he? Did you see him rubbing his leg? Do people do that when they're lying, or do they do that when they're telling the truth but they're feeling uncomfortable? I don't know. You know, I have no idea.
Tea, bit of breakfast, phone, email from somebody who I don't know to say, we sent you an email yesterday, but you've not replied to it. That we very much want to talk to you in an office. Please get in touch, and we're waiting for you. So of course I was thinking, well, I've had no email. So why are you being so? Why is your tone so strong?
So how did you feel? Did you feel like uneasy? Like,
well, yes, of course I did. You've been called to an office, you know, by one of the executives. So it's like, okay. So then I replied to say, well, I've not received any email, but of course I'm due in very soon. So I will be there to your beck and call. I'll be at reception in 10 minutes if you want me to be. Yes, we do want you to be there in 10 minutes. Okay. And could you please arrange, we would advise that maybe your agent can be there by Zoom, and maybe you could be covered with a lawyer. So what, in 10 minutes? So of course I was like, what is going on here? First person I call is Carol, my partner. and just like, are you sitting down? I'm just going to have to read you this email. So we'll both. That's where the bewilderment started, because the bewilderment continued. So it was like, okay, well, you're going to have to go in, you know, and let me know as soon as you come out what's happened. So took me up to an office, and there were 3 people there. Once we'd all taken our position, it was said to me that the complainant had been in touch with them, and the complainant had said that they'd been to the police, and the police had referred it to the CPS, and on that basis we're going to sever your contract.
And what exactly was it that they were accusing you of, or they?
Apparently, it was put to them that I had put my hand up her skirt and had a rummage around, in inverted commas. And that's the way it was put to me. It's been hard. It's been very hard.
Sorry.
Because you have nothing to go on.
Sorry, that's my bad sense of humour there, because after he just said I was accused of putting my hand up her skirt and having a rummage around, he said it was hard. It was very hard. Sorry, that's bad joke. So sorry. Anyway, you know, if you didn't laugh, you'd cry. So that's what he's accused of, putting his hand up a girl's skirt and having a rummage around. Now, I don't know if he did that or not. As I say, it's his word against hers. I think we have to think, why would she say it? My first question is always, what is the reason why this person is saying that? You know, why would they say it? And then I sort of would come down think more that they're probably telling the truth, to be honest, in this case, because why would they say it? Like that other person I was talking about, there were reasons that they were doing it to try and discredit that person, professional reasons. In this case, I'm thinking, what would the girl's reasons be for accusing him of this? You know, why? Did she have a personal grudge against him? Did she know him apart from that incident? You know, you'd have to go into it a lot more. And, you know, sometimes he was a young man then, I suppose, much younger than he is now. Young men do stupid things, don't they? Maybe he'd had a drink. We don't know. Had he had a drink? Had he been taking something? I mean, we really, really don't know all the circumstances. So I could see in the chat there, some people were thinking he's a little bit dodgy. Other people thinking he comes over as being innocent. Only him and his God know that, don't they? You know, only him, you know, and his conscience know, and her conscience. She knows if she's telling the truth or not. And when it's a matter like this, where it's just between 2 people, no, you know, none of us know for certain what the truth is, do we? But, you know, it comes over as very credible, I think. But, you know, that doesn't mean to say he didn't do it, unfortunately.
So how do you spend weeks and weeks with nothing to go on? Try and put yourself in that situation.
Has it affected your health? Have you sort of found yourself always?
I've tried for it not to affect me. But when I heard that last week that it had been no further actioned, there was quite a few hours afterwards where you could feel it just dissipating. Mm. So clearly it was there. I haven't even told my daughter. No, I don't really want to tell her. I'll tell her now when it all comes out this weekend. I will tell her, but I don't want her to. What am I going to tell her?
So it sounded like the meeting was quite short and abrupt. Did you get any questions in? Like, would you at least pay? Would they be paying you for your time on the show? Like, did you?
Oh yes. There was a conversation. There was a guaranteed amount that every actor that works on any show, there will be a guaranteed amount per episode. So they said that we will be fulfilling that. But then, of course, over a 5-6 month period, there's all kinds of other payments that you need to be on set to earn. So I lost a certain amount, but they did keep to my guarantee, and that was mentioned in the meeting. The point I want to make is more of a I'm thinking of a better word, more of a warning to other actors out there that we're only one call away from ruin. ITV told me that the police had approached them, and the police were referring this to the CPS, and on that basis we're severing your contract. But in actual fact, that wasn't true. I had to volunteer for an interview up in Manchester because I wanted to, we need to get to the bottom of this. So I volunteered for an interview, and within the interview, it was explained to me that the police didn't approach ITV. And this sequence of events, when somebody's accused of this, people have to be questioned. And then it needs to go to a detective inspector, and he or she needs to review the answers from the questioning, and only then do they pass it on to the CPS if that's their decision. There was a phone call between myself and Alison from the press office where we agreed, well, she put it to me that maybe the statement would be that I'd left for personal reasons. So I thought it was nice of them to say that I'd left for personal reasons, which covers a wide area.
The police told you?
Yeah, only then did the police officer say to me, the allegation is this.
And what did they say?
What I explained to you earlier, that there'd been an occasion where I had approached whoever from behind and touched them on top of their jeans, and that complainant, it was sometime in 1997. They can't describe when it was in 1997. There was...
What? I thought you said he put his hand up their skirt and had a rummage around. Now it's he touched them over their jeans. Or is it both?
There were no witnesses, and she hadn't told anyone about it. And so there you go. That's the allegation.
Did they say who it was?
They said who it was, yes.
So did you actually know this person? Have you ever heard of this person?
There's
before?
100 people who work for Coronation Street who you never get to meet, and it was one of those.
So you've never met them, but it was a name that maybe you recognised.
Nope.
It wasn't even a name you recognised. Wow, that's interesting. And you don't believe?
Yeah, see, I don't like that either. I don't like that, as if it doesn't make it any better anyway. In fact, it makes it worse if it's someone he didn't even know. So what, it just some young girl passing that he thought, because she's a young girl and she works on Coronation Street and he's a great big star on Coronation Street, means that he can touch her arse or put his hand up her skirt and have a rummage around. Which is it? Or is that two different claims? I'm totally confused now, to be honest. He definitely said earlier about putting his hand up her skirt, someone's skirt, and having a rummage around, and now he's talking about, is this just what he could? So he didn't even know who they were. It just makes it worse to me in a way, if it's true. There's a few things about not only his, but what we're going to look at Gregg Wallace's, Gregg Wallace later anyway, I won't talk about it too much before we get to it. But something, I was watching someone talk about Gregg Wallace, and they were talking about one of the people that Gregg Wallace had supposed to do it, done something to, or said something to. And this person was saying, oh, well, she's attractive. Like, as if that makes any effing difference whatsoever. Do people really think that the only women that get raped or get attacked or have any sexual sort of offences done or said to them, they have to be attractive, because otherwise we don't believe them. Is that right? So if they're not attractive, well, in the eyes of whoever's looking, you know, of course, everybody's attractive to different people in different ways. You know, sexual offences are nothing to do with how attractive someone is. You know, grandmas, great grandmas get raped or sexually assaulted or have horrible things said to them. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with what sort of a twonk it is who's doing the things. You know, it's not like, oh, well, yeah, you can understand it because she is attractive. Just fuck off. Honest to God, it made me really angry when I was watching it, as if it makes any difference whatsoever. It's not about how attractive the victim is. It's about what a fucking twat the offender is. Sorry, I knew I was going to get angry. I knew I was going to get angry about this. That is misogyny in itself. Just like, oh, well, or like, so what do you say? You don't believe someone if they're not attractive enough? Oh, well, he wouldn't do that. Of course he wouldn't do that. God, she's not even attractive. For God's sake. It's about the perpetrator, not the victim, about what they look like. Oh my God, what is wrong with people? I just remember years ago, and some of you might remember that, you know, Chris Evans, the little ginger bloody DJ, who I can't bear at the best of times. But one of the reasons that I can't bear Chris Evans is because he used to be married to Carol McGriffith. And when they split up, she had a stalker. And she was genuinely concerned that this stalker, and I remember I was watching him being interviewed. I mean, years ago, he couldn't get away with it. Now he'd be leapt upon. And he said, oh, yeah, well, because then, of course, he started going out with Billy Piper, who's more sort of conventionally attractive, I suppose. And he said that his ex-wife, Carol, had been saying to him she had this stalker. And he went, have you seen my ex-wife? He said, I said to her, no, you haven't, Carol. So it's like she couldn't have a stalker because she's not attractive enough, because she's not blonde, because she's not, I don't know, doesn't look like a bimbo, or I don't know what he was trying to get at, but that is literally what he said. Have you seen my wife? I said to her, no, you haven't. You know, can't possibly be stalked because you're not attractive enough. This is like this sort of weird matrix misogyny. You know, it's like the Twilight Zone misogyny, isn't it? It's like, no, you can't possibly have been RAPED. You're too old. You're not attractive enough. Oh God, no, only sort of 23-year-olds who look like, God knows, you know, look like Miss World. They're the only people who get stalked or get a grip. You have no idea what it's like. And the same probably works the other way around as well for boys, men, whatever. How dare you relate whether someone should be believed about if they've been, assaulted or offended, or, you know, how dare they be judged on that, on how attractive they are? Get a grip. Anyway, sorry, I finished ranting about that. I've got another little rant about Gregg Wallace later, though.
Do you think they still work at Coronation Street now?
They don't work at Coronation Street now. Well, I have no ill feeling against the TV company, other than things could have gone a little bit better. But I understand. I understand that women have to make an allegation if there was something that happened, which happens around the country, and I think it's great that women have a voice eventually, and I understand that the TV company or any company that receives an allegation has to work swiftly. I understand those things, but what we all need to understand, viewers, public, employers, is that not everybody is guilty. So I've had to hire a media lawyer, of which there isn't a better one, to protect.
No, not everyone is guilty. That's 100. I suppose years ago he would have hired Max Clifford, would he? It's like, but it's true. Not everyone is guilty. People are innocent until they're proven guilty. And I agree with you there, BF. The thought of his daughter finding out at the same time as the public find out. His daughter should have been the first to find out, shouldn't she? Or his partner first. And then he should have spoken to his daughter, prepared her for this story coming out. You know, because he's the one who's, you know, let's face it, he's the one, I'm not blaming him for it, but he's the one who's going on the Sun to talk about it. If he wasn't talking about it publicly on this Sun website or on this Sun YouTube, we wouldn't know anymore, would we? So, you know, it could have just faded into obscurity, no further action, but maybe he wants to tell his story, maybe he needs the money, and I don't blame him. As I say, he'll have lost. If he's innocent and they're not going to take any further action, it's terrible, of course it is, but it's a very, very, it's a dangerous and slippy slope, I agree, because really anybody could make an accusation about anyone, couldn't they? Sometimes that does happen, you know, doesn't it? Women do it, men do it against other people without any, you know, that aren't true. So it is difficult. It's a very difficult situation. Yeah. Anyways, coming out, and so let's hear the last of what he's got to say.
Protect me, because I needed protecting at a great cost, and then a criminal lawyer, of course, so we could find out the actual situation, and then of course to help me unfold the process, and an employment lawyer.
So roughly how much, if you can imagine? I mean, just to give us
Thousands.
Tens of thousands. Or
Thousands.
So that's obviously been another added stress for you as well.
Absolutely.
When you thought this would be a really highlight in your career and you'd be going back to college.
It wasn't just a highlight, it was opening, you know, I've not really done much on the TV for a while. I had other things going on in my life, but although Catherine and I have been working on trying to improve that situation, so it was a nice new start for us. I would have been appearing on, you know, a flagship ITV show. There were.
Sounds like he's been having some issues in his partnership, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, and you know, just because they're stars doesn't mean to say they're nice people, does it? Of course, he may not. He might be an absolute twonk, but I don't know him, so I don't know. But sounds like there's some various issues, maybe other things are known about. I don't know. I don't really take notice of celebrity gossip and things unless it's a big story, you know, that comes on the news, because I watch like the news. I'm a bit of a news junkie. So if it comes onto the news, but I don't like, you know, go through all the celebrity things. That's not my thing, but I do read the news. So if it comes up on the news, I will see it.
Already, there were 2 tweets put out prior to me actually arriving on the show, and I think accumulated it was somewhere near 500,000 people were viewing it. So it was a very popular return, and Catherine and I were going to work on that popularity. Oh well, there's lots of plans, you know. There's lots of things.
Now, see, this is interesting to me, because in this way, it reminds me of what happened to Hugh Edwards. He was sort of hoisted by his own petard, really, wasn't he? Because he, you know, the family of the boy that had accused, you know, the family that accused Hugh Edwards in the first instance of, you know, getting their son to send photos. That was before the actual child P that was found on his phone. That wasn't known about then. They complained to the BBC. They went to the BBC first. They didn't go to the police first. They went to the BBC, and the BBC said they would deal with it. And then the next minute, that family see Hugh Edwards getting awards and what have you. So that's when they got angry, and you would get angry. You know, if you tried to do it under the radar at first, you know, not cause too much fuss. Because let's face it, you wouldn't want, if it was either you or your child, you wouldn't want all that publicity. So you'd probably try and deal with it first without going to the police. But then when you see someone getting awards, and like what this person has obviously seen is him coming back to Coronation Street, and the thought of seeing him again on the TV screens might have just been too much for them. And, you know, there's a reason why they've gone to the police in the end. Or it might be somebody spiteful, just doesn't like him, thinking, oh, no, you think you're going back on Coronation Street, I'm going to put a stop to that. You know, this is the sort of dilemma we're in. We just have to decide and I expect some people will believe him and some people will believe the girl.
Happen, you know, I've written, I'm a very keen writer, and I've written 3 cookbooks. And I wanted to, there's been interest for an autobiography. So I will probably want to be one of the few people who have been in my position that would be in a position to be able to write his own, which was, you know, a nice opportunity. But anyway, everything's been put on hold. Any interest that was happening before the 1st of August was all very exciting, and it was only interest, and lots of things have to happen before they become concrete. But everything has stopped since the 1st of August because everybody is waiting to see what happens to my personal circumstances.
So there you go. That's the story of Sean and Martin Platt. And sorry, that's Have I Got News For You coming on. I do like Have I Got News For You. That's hilarious. Anyway, we're not going to watch that. We won't be allowed to watch that, unfortunately, because it would give us a laugh. So that's the story of Sean. What do we believe? What don't we believe? I can honestly say I don't know, really. I know I'm always wary of these historic things. This is a problem that I have. Well, I did have. I don't really have it anymore. With the Gregg Wallace thing. Why do people wait so long, you know, to talk about it? Especially the people that these people that are talking about Gregg Wallace. Let's have a look at a picture of Gregg Wallace. If we must, because I think he looks ever so sinister, Gregg. He's got them weird eyes, hasn't he? And finding out things about him, you know, he's, listen, I'm not, you know, I'm not approved by any way, shape or form, let me tell you. But now I found out about some of his sex proclivities and that. He does look quite sort of sinister, doesn't he? You know, it's like he's got that weird eye thing going on there that I always think murderers have, with one eye is different to the other one. You know, the more he's just drawing attention to him. I think what Gregg should, with Martin or Sean, I'm not so sure. I'm on the fence with Martin. I don't know. Basically, I don't have a strong feeling really any one way or the other, just wondering why that person would say that. But with Gregg now, I started off sort of feeling a little bit sorry for him because I didn't know why famous people like Kirsty Walk would wait all those years before they said what they'd experienced, because they've got, you know, he's not in a position of power against them. They're just as famous as him, really. You know, he's got no power against them. He doesn't pay their wages. He doesn't, you know, he's not their employer, etc. They were on MasterChef, so what? So I was a little bit, when I first heard this story, I was a little bit, well, why have you waited all this time? You know, really big time, wondering, no reason for you to wait all this time. You know, and Kirsty Walk, she's a political sort of commentator. You know, she's not some vulnerable girl working for someone and is frightened of saying anything. You know, so I was a little bit more probably on Gregg's side. The thing that Gregg has done, of course, he's come out now and he's started talking about it, and he's definitely made it worse for himself, because now I literally cannot stand him. And I think he's probably guilty of everything that he's been accused of doing. But Did I say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening? Oh, I did, I think. So I just want to say a quick hello to those of you who are watching at home who don't join in the chat. I've said hello to people in the chat, etc. And I just want to say thank you for being subscribers, for liking my videos, for being members, especially we've got members live tomorrow night, for sending me super stickers, PayPals, buy me Ko-fi. Thank you so much. I think I forgot to say all that at the beginning. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And yeah. And thank you to you trolley dollies out there as well. Don't forget. Do you know, this is how I imagine them all looking. You know, when I think about the trolls, this is what they all look like, isn't it? I love this picture. Thank you for all your interaction with my channel, because you really do help my algorithm. So thank you. So we're going to talk about Gregg now. So Gregg has been accused, hasn't he? Gregg, for anybody who doesn't know, is one of the presenters on MasterChef, which of course is a very popular program. It's not a program I like. I don't like watching programs about food because then they make me hungry. And I feel like I have to go and eat something. It doesn't take much to make me hungry, but you know, watching somebody cook something nice, that'll be it. I'll be sat here thinking, oh, I could just eat some chips, or I could just eat something nice. So that's why I don't watch cookery programs, you know. And I'm not mad on cooking, to be honest. I like cooking if I've got time, but if I haven't got time, you know, and I don't do all these recipes and things like that. So just look at what the hat's done to my hair. It's all sticking up. I think I'll put my hat back on because my hair's gone all weird. Just I got a bit hot. Now this hat I have had for at least 10 years, and it used to light up, but the battery's not working now. So yeah, so let's have a look at what Gregg. So let's see who he's been accused by. He's been accused by a couple of people, hasn't he? And now, of course, they're all coming out of the woodwork. So that's probably why he's decided he's going to say something, because there's even more people coming out now and saying that they've, let me just put some windows down. Even more people coming out now and saying that he's said things to them, showed his body to them, or all sorts of things. So let's have a look what he's got to say and why he's really annoyed me. Anyway, I'm going to just make sure I haven't missed anybody else coming into chat. David. So I'm just having a little look through the chat. I can see you're all chatting. I don't think I've missed anybody new coming in. Okay, so let's see what he's got to say.
Now, I've been doing MasterChef for 20 years. Amateur, celebrity, and professional MasterChef. And I think in that time, I have worked with over 4,000 contestants of all different ages, all different backgrounds, all walks of life. And apparently now...
Right, now before I go any further, I just want to say that initially, when these accusations came out, Gregg made a thank you video, very nice video. Thank you for everyone who's supporting me in this difficult time. He stepped back from MasterChef, didn't he, while the allegations are sorted out. But he made a very gracious video to thank all the people that were supporting him. And I watched that and I thought, oh, that's not, oh, mate, oh. Then now because more allegations have come out. That's when he's making this one, and I think he's made a big mistake.
I'm reading in the paper, there's been 13 complaints in that time. Now, in the newspaper, I can see the complaints.
Look at the contempt in his face when he said, honestly, he reminds me of another man of a certain, anyway, never mind, I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Coming from a handful of middle class women of a certain age.
So they're coming from a handful of middle class women of a certain age. Oh my God. Oh my God. So do you know what? As soon as he said that, it doesn't even matter if it's true or not. As soon as he said that, I thought, you're as guilty as anything, you misogynist, narcissistic piece of shit. Because how dare he say that? He's another one. It's like they should be grateful that he's been harassing them or something, that they're women of a certain age. Well, I'll tell you what, Gregg, and other men of a certain age who have horrible things to say about women on YouTube and things like that, you are the one that's typical of your generation of men. Luckily now, men, young men like my son and younger, they're not like you. They don't sort of come on and say all these horrible things about women, like they should be grateful that you even made a nice comment to them or whatever. You are horrible. You are typical of the men of your generation. The horror, not all the men of your generation, because they weren't all horrible, but unfortunately a lot of them were misogynistic. You are typical of that. And there's a few others that I could mention, but I'm not going to mention. And you've just now, to me, he's shown his true colours. And now I've gone from probably more believing him, or at least being surprised why it's taken so long to come out with it all from these people who are quite well known. I've gone from that to thinking I think they're 100% right. Now, I want to relate this as well to a recent thing in Strictly Come Dancing with Giovanni, where, what's her name, the Abington woman, she said something against him. He didn't come out and say, oh, well, she's a woman of a certain age and she's just saying that. As far as I know, anyway, I haven't seen him make any slur against her or say anything nasty about her. He's just sat tight, waited for the allegations to sort of carry on. And personally, I never believed her in the from the beginning. I was not sure why she would say those things, and I don't know, maybe Giovanni was horrible to her, but I do think with Strictly Come Dancing, and see, I would have given him the same the same credit, you know, when people are working in those environments, and there is a very thin line between banter and actual slurs, if you like. Where's the line? So anyway, Giovanni's going to be reinstated, isn't he? Now, that's what Gregg should have done. Just kept his mouth shut. Not go on here and start accusing the women that are accusing him. Maybe you can see that it's all getting out of control and he feels like he's got to go on the attack. I would think his lawyer would be a bit annoyed with him for saying these things. I don't know. What do you think? You know, to me, it's like, I was like, what are you talking about, man? You know, so why just the fact he's saying all this publicly, it's like, you know, you might think it, you know, think what you like, say what you like in the privacy of your own home.
Just from Celebrity MasterChef. This isn't right. In 20 years, over 20 years of television, can you imagine how many women, female contestants on MasterChef, have made sexual remarks or sexual innuendo? Can you imagine?
Let's listen to it again. I'm just saying hello to Darren in there. Let's listen to it from the start again. Honest to God, my jaw dropped open when I heard this. to me now, I feel like, Gregg, I see who you are, what you are. You remind me of Chris Evans. You're just like, you know, sometimes, how can I put it? Sometimes older men who've been divorced, they get bitter towards women because, you know, they can't believe that these women have left them. And so they hate women, or maybe they've taken them for all their money or whatever. They get in this sort of, and they don't even realize how bitter they are, but they are. And then they get annoyed if you don't think the sun shines out of their ass, because they, you know, that's why a lot that sometimes they go for younger women then again, because younger women, they haven't wised up yet to men like this. Anyway, we'll see. Or they go for, you know, they buy their wives because that's the only way they can get one, because normal women are interested in him.
Now, I've been doing MasterChef for 20 years, amateur, celebrity and professional MasterChef. And I think in that time, I have worked with over 4,000 contestants of all different ages, all different backgrounds, all walks of life. And apparently now, I'm reading in the paper, there's been 13 complaints in that time.
13?
Now, in the newspaper, I can see the complaints coming from a handful of middle class women of a certain age.
Oh my God. Every time I hear it, it makes me cringe that he's saying it, actually saying it. Because the thing is, first of all, 13 is not a handful. A handful, you've got 5 fingers, you know, you can't fit 13 into one hand. So it's not a handful. It's more than a handful. I think that's why he's coming out attacking like this, is because he knows it's getting more and more and more. So he's coming out and saying this. I'd be, honestly, I bet he didn't speak to his lawyer first. If I was his lawyer, I'd be saying, don't say that about women of a certain age. You know, just anyone would know. Just he's coming over now as guilty, as bitter, as all those things. 13 is a lot. I wouldn't have even known there were 13 complaints unless he said it. He's he's drawn my attention to that. It's like, you know, you murder someone and nobody knows, and then you try and draw attention to it by, you know, releasing a map or something to where you've buried the body. What an idiot. Total idiot.
Just from Celebrity MasterChef. This isn't right. In 20 years, over 20 years of television, can you imagine how many women, female contestants on MasterChef, have made sexual remarks or sexual innuendo? Can you imagine?
And then he says, can you imagine how many women have made sexual remarks? Can you imagine? You know, so he starts sort of trying to say that as well. I mean, this is the weirdest thing. Honest to God, I was just open-mouthed when I saw it. It was just like, what? What, Gregg? What? So this is your defense, that these are women of a certain age that are saying it, and women of how many women have made sexual innuendos? Well, you should have reported them then, shouldn't you? You know, if you were so offended by it. It's just crazy. Just crazy. Oh my God. So let me just see if I can find anything else. But I don't know if I really want to, but so you can imagine that him making those comments, this is now all over the internet, all over the news. It's on Sky News, The Independent, The Guardian, The Daily Mail. You know, now things are coming out. You know, loads of allegations are coming out, not just from women of a certain age, middle class women of a certain age. So what's this? Gregg Wallace was arrested and revealed his very different life. Let's have a look at that. So now I'm looking at things I wouldn't have even looked at with you, you know. He's drawn attention to himself. So not only is he probably a sex pest, he's an idiot. Let's have a look. And why has he got all these photos? I don't even know he was all over. Let me just try and get this down. Why is he always in photos showing his chest and everything? And his Millwall tattoo? Ooh, God, it gives you the creeps. Look at all these veins and everything. Gregg, no, you know, that doesn't even look good on young men. Honestly, I don't like to see all these bulging muscles, and it's nice to see a little bit of muscle or whatever, but it's not nice to see veins and things. It's certainly not nice of an older person. Men just don't look nice without clothes on, and when are they going to realise that? Anyway, that's why. Well, women don't think they do. I don't know if other men like men with no clothes on. I don't know, but so apparently he had run-ins with the law in his younger days as a self-confessed football hooligan. He was a Millwall fan. Well, you know, Millwall have got a reputation, haven't they? Millwall fans have got a reputation. I'm not saying that they're all the same, because I wouldn't put everyone into one bracket, you know, like he's put all these women of a certain age into a bracket. I was brought up in Peckham and went to Millwall regularly. Some of my friends from school grew up to be hooligans. Millwall had a fierce reputation at the time, which was well deserved. I got arrested for assault when I was 20, but my Millwall days are long behind me. Now, really, would any of us have known about this if he wouldn't have come on and said all that? God. So, yeah, it was Kirsty Walk started it all, of course, but it's all right because she's quite attractive. So, you know, anyway, never mind. I'm not going into all that again. No, judging women on whether they're attractive or not, and whether their allegations should be listened to because they're attractive or should be understood because they're attractive, is ridiculous. Oh, God. Oh, this photo is making me feel sick. I've got to come off that, actually. So, yeah, anyway, so that's my impression. He has made things worse for himself. Let me put my glasses back on. These can be my thinking glasses coming up to Christmas. When I want to think about things, I look like Eddie the Eagle. I don't know about Dame Edna Everett. I feel like Eddie the Eagle. Yeah. Would we have even now think more definitely is going to come out, and the more he's made it worse by coming out and, you know, said all this. So, hey, Scott. So, you know, he's made it all worse by coming out and saying all this, in my opinion. So I'm sure you'll let me know what you have to say in chat. Now, so I'm definitely anti him 100%. With Sean, I'm still not sure. The jury's out. I don't know why the girl would have made the accusation or not, but yeah, so I'm not sure with Sean. And no, I don't think anything's going to go ahead with Sean anyway. I don't think there's going to be any, any further action. But as far as Gregg's concerned, what's going to happen? Is he practically confirming there that he is guilty of these things by trying to attack the women that have attacked him? You know, like, wouldn't he be better just letting his lawyer deal with it, and maybe it would come to nothing and he'd get vindicated that way? Or does he know that he's guilty? And that's why he's saying it. You know, I know what I would do. I know what I would do if it wouldn't be me, obviously. Well, it might be. You never know what you might get accused of. Anyone can accuse you of anything. Doesn't have to be true, does it? But, you know, what's the point if you are genuinely innocent? What is the point in going out and then attacking those people? You know, then you're just going to get this bit back. You know, sometimes when people are saying things about you and it's patent that it's not true, it's better to just say nothing. Surely it's better to just say nothing. And in this case, it's something that's really important and serious. Just let your lawyer deal with it. That's what I think. Yeah, Princess, I am as well. Okay. I know women of a certain age. Oh God, you know, they're terrible, aren't they? I mean, oh God, I don't know. You know, it's like you can't say anything anymore, is it? Because where is the? I think, you know, we need to have a line drawn between, oh, this is banter and this isn't. You know, it's like, what is banter? You know, people all just say, oh, it's always banter. I think that young people, like, for example, again, I know I keep using my son as an example, but he's a young person that I can use as an example because he thinks in a completely different way to older men. You know, the way he thinks, and there's a hope there. I'm not saying he's perfect. He's not perfect. But the way they think about women, the way they think about gender, you know, it's not an issue. These things are not an issue. So you never say that, oh, women of a certain age, or, you know, make comments about people's sexuality or their gender, because he's grown up in a different age. You know, and for some of us, we've grown up in a different age. So sometimes we don't mean to be insulting about people's gender or about people, you know, it's like, it's God, what's the word? What can you do? You know, if you've been brought up a certain way, it's hard to change. It's hard to change, and you try your best. And it's good when you've got young people in your life because they can show you how times are changing. You know, you have to keep, it'll only been the same for my parents with my generation, you know, but now my generation is the old generation. And then even the generation after me is the old generation. And even the generation after that is, you know, 30s. So they're old as well, you know, to a 20-year-old. And a 20-year-old is old to a 18, 19-year-old. You know, things are changing all the time and generations are changing, hopefully for the best. And I think generally they are changing for the best. But of course, the world is still run by older people. You know, that's why we've got all these wars and everything. But what was I going to say then about gender? Because I think I've mentioned in another stream, you know, one of my nieces was telling me when I was in the UK that one of my sort of great nieces, you know, I've got this big family, wanted to be known as gender neutral, you know, using the pronouns and all that sort of thing, which it's not that I don't want to use them. It's just thinking to say them. It's hard to change. If you've always been brought up, it's like if you've been brought up with the internet always, you know about the internet. You can't imagine life without it. But if you've been brought up with one thing and then suddenly you've got to change all your way of thinking, and it's not whether you want to or not, or whether you agree with it or not. It's not about that. It's about, oh God, and I was just paranoid because I thought, oh, I'm bound to say the wrong thing. Not because I wanted to say the wrong thing or I didn't think it was fine what they were doing. It was just that, is the wrong thing going to come into my head? But, you know, that's, anyway, I've got over that now. I've got through that, and I think I've sort of got the hang of it, but I don't know really. I don't know. Anyway, so that's it. So I thought I'd let you know. I feel like my face is getting all flushed. I think it's the lights from the... Look at that. I'm going all red in the face. It's too hot. It's a good job it is quite chilly here today. It's too hot with the Christmas lights. It's the jumper. I'm going to have to take the jumper off. Not now, after the stream. Okay, so I hope you found that interesting. Remember not to go. So a lesson we have learned from today is not to go to where Paul Arnott had his turkey teeth done, because look, you don't want to end up with your teeth like my two chatters here. And if anybody else has been stung by this recommendation by Paul Arnott, send me a photo in. I'll be interested to show it. And I'll see you really soon in the next video, which may be later today. I'm not sure. God, I'm going to have to take the hat off. I'm too hot. It's the hat and the jumper, and it's still, you know, it's 16 degrees here in Spain, so it's making me all flushed, and it's ruined my hair. But anyway, never mind. So I'll see you really soon in the next video. And I will be doing some survivors videos this December. Happy December. Hope you're all, I know some of you have got a difficult Christmas coming up, but we'll try and make it a little bit better for you. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, because I was going to, God, if I light these candles now, that'll probably get even hotter again. Where's mine? But I'm going to light them. So I've got my feather that was left, I think, by my chatter's loved one. I'm going to light 4 candles for all of us, not for all of us, for everybody who's missing, everybody who's lost in different ways, can be lost in sort of a mental health way, lost your way in life way. You know, we all feel lost at times, don't we? And obviously all the cases that we're following, whether it's missing people, looking for remains, or looking for, you know, but a special prayer for those that are missing someone this year. So there you go. There's the 4 candles. And it's a candle for all of you, all included. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you really soon in the next video. I'm going to make up a Christmas introduction. Probably today I'll try and do it. And then we'll get a special Christmas introduction and goodbye for this month. Till I see you again, may your God go with you. Thank you.